Hey guys, this is Jessica Gutierrez with Clean With Me podcast. This is a podcast where I walk you through cleaning your house step by step. So let's clean together. Hey guys, so long time no talk. I know it's been a while since I've made an episode. My mom's done an amazing job stepping in, and I know a lot of you guys missed her episodes. So I'm sure you guys are all enjoying that. But with the holidays right around the corner, today's episode is going to be a 50-minute episode, and it's going to be our typical whole house cleanup, but I'm just going to talk a lot about preparing for the holidays, whether that's having visitors coming to your home, or maybe you just want the house nice and clean for yourself, because when you open presents on Christmas morning, if you celebrate Christmas, you don't want your house to be in complete disarray if you're trying to record, or just, it kind of ruins the magic if your house is a big mess. I know for me, it definitely affects my mood when my house is dirty, so you don't want your house to be dirty during the holidays, because it definitely will bring the mood down. And if anything, it'll just stress you out because it's something that you have to worry about. And I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me, and let's get right into it and get this house clean. So first thing, as always, I want to get you guys into the cleaning mode. So whatever that means to you, what your ritual is before you clean. Mine, I like to get moderately ready, put some comfy clothes on, put my hair up, put some lip gloss on maybe, and I always light a candle, and that kind of tricks my brain into thinking that it's cleaning time, because I always do that. So the smells and everything and the act of doing it kind of put me in cleaning mode, and then I like to open all the windows and kind of set the tone. But if you have a different ritual, go ahead and do that now, and then we're going to get straight on into it with the laundry. And usually I am so on top of the laundry. I know not all of you can relate, but that's my favorite chore because it's kind of a lazy chore. I can sit down and just kind of chill and fold my laundry while I watch my favorite show or what have you, listen to a podcast. But life gets in the way sometimes, and this is not the first time this has happened. But of course, I am super behind on laundry. It's super piled up, and I'm about to go out of town. I'm about to go to Hobbs for Christmas to visit my mom and my family, and my grandma's coming from Sacramento to come see us. So I definitely don't want to leave a bunch of dirty clothes. So I'm kind of speaking to myself as well as y'all. And this is what I'm going to do, and what I have done in the past whenever I get super just backed up on laundry. It's self-explanatory, of course, but I have a laundry day where I devote all day. I pick a day where I don't have much going on, and I take breaks, of course, for whatever errands I have to run. But I pick a day and I say, on this day, on Wednesday, I'm going to do straight laundry all day. I'm going to fold it exactly when it comes out of the dryer, because with me, if I do not fold my clothes when they come straight out of the dryer, they will sit there for 500 years. So it's either right when they come out or never with me. So I will just have a laundry marathon. And last time I did this, I did not put the clothes away. I sat there and folded like 14 loads of laundry. That's probably an exaggeration, but it was quite a bit. And they sat there for longer than I care to admit. And then the kids unfolded them, and then I got discouraged, and the cycle continued. So this time I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm going to fold and put away. And as you're folding, you want to put things in piles the way that you are going to put them away. Because if you just I used to put everything in family piles, like this pile's all me, this pile's all dad, this pile's all my older daughter, and then not separate like the shirts and the pants and whatever drawer they're going to go in. and then I get lazy and put everything away, just stuff it in a drawer, and then undo all my organization and everything. So what I do to keep things organized is I try to fold them and put them in piles how they would go into the drawers. That way I can just carry them from wherever I'm folding directly into the drawer that it goes to. And sure, it makes a lot more piles and a little bit more thought, but it really helps me keep things organized that way. And if you have a different way that you do that, that's fine. I'm just sharing how I do things and how my brain works. Your brain might work a little differently. You might just put it in a family pile, and then when you get to the drawer, actually put them where they go. But I'm lazy and my brain doesn't work that way, so I have to put them in as I'm folding them in the piles of what drawer they go to. So go ahead and do a laundry switch as I'm talking. Move your clothes from the dryer to a laundry basket, from the washer to the dryer, and start a new load. And then by the time everything is done in the washer and dryer, the episode will be done. You can kick up your feet, relax, and fold those clothes and put them away. So while you're doing that load of laundry, I do apologize, by the way. I know I'm a little bit congested. And while you're doing the laundry, if you're noticing that your laundry room needs some work and it's starting to get a little bit out of hand, if you're having guests coming in from out of town, or you're not and you just desperately need to clean your laundry room or laundry area, now could be the time to do it. If you want to just do a quick straighten, if it needs a deep cleaning, make sure you write it down, and as soon as the episode's over, or at your earliest convenience, just set some time aside and really tackle that laundry area. For me, it doesn't get too bad because it's not a place that I typically hang out, so it doesn't accumulate junk or anything. But everybody's different, and that could be a space. I know, like my mom's laundry room, you have to walk past it to go to the garage, so the kids are always going through the laundry area to get to the garage. And so stuff gets set there sometimes, and she has to pick up the laundry area from time to time. But even if you don't have stuff accumulating in there, there could be lint balls, dust accumulating on the washer and dryer that you need to quickly wipe down. It could be in need of a good sweeping and mopping. Maybe you have some containers in there that need to be thrown away. Maybe there's some stuff that is in desperate need of organization. In a perfect world, I would love to have cute little containers if I had extra money to put all of my laundry beads and stuff in. I've seen the videos on that. That looks really awesome, and that's totally something I would want to do if I had the extra money and time. So just take note of that as you're cleaning up today, especially if you're having visitors coming in from out of town. They might need to do a load of laundry or something. So we want this area to be nice and straightened. And that's the thing, when you're having company, they're essentially living in your house for a few days. So they're going to be looking at everything that you do in every little nook and cranny of your house probably. And although they may not care, obviously they're probably loved ones that love you, we want to give a good impression, and we want them to be comfortable. And the best way to make sure that your family is comfortable in your home is having a nice, clean environment for them to hang out in. So moving right along, you should be done with the laundry switch about now. Let's go ahead and move into the kitchen. Now the kitchen is a big one for the holidays because you're going to have a lot of family. If you're having any kind of get together, up in your kitchen, up in your drawers, cabinets, etc., refrigerator. Or if you're just cooking for your own family, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen. And again, you want the environment to be nice, happy, not stress-inducing, because there's enough stress going on during the holidays. We don't want to add to it. So let's go ahead and start with the dishes first, and let's go ahead and unload our dishwasher. If you have no dishwasher and you just hand wash your dishes, then you can empty your drying rack. I typically have both a drying rack and a dishwasher That way the big things that don't fit in the dishwasher, or if you just need to wash a couple dishes and you don't have a whole load, you can put them on the drying rack. It's good to have both just in case, and it also helps you keep up with the dishes as well. So just make room for the new dishes that we're gonna clean, and be working on the dishes while I talk. Now, the holidays are like right on us, so it's almost Christmas, and say you haven't done anything yet, you just need to crash clean your kitchen. First, we want to get the things of the most importance, right? So just be doing the dishes while I talk. You want to do the things that you know for sure are going to just jump out at somebody that's visiting. And then you work your way to the lesser important drawers and what have you. So, my mom's probably talked about this, but something that she kind of focuses on for guests is she has like a little Keurig, and she sets up a nice little coffee area for whoever's visiting. She always does that when I come to visit, and it's really nice. But she makes sure that her Keurig or coffee maker is super clean and cleaned out, because every once in a while it's good to wash those things out. And then she makes sure that I have plenty of mugs and everything accessible, and make sure that she stocks all of the things that I would need to make coffee, so I have a nice little area to make coffee and I don't have to hunt through a bunch of shelves to find the stuff for it. She lays it all out in a cute way. So that's a cute idea for company. Also good if you're doing a speed cleaning and you don't have time to organize all of your cabinets and stuff, and maybe they're a little messy. If you make everything super accessible for your guests, they don't have to dig through all of the disorganized mess. Not saying you should not have your stuff organized. In a perfect world, it is organized and you have enough time to get it done. But if you're crash cleaning and you're like, my cabinets are a disaster, if you have time, we're going to get to that. But if not, like I said, just make everything nice and accessible. And by the way, while you're doing the dishes, if you have some big pots or something that need to be soaking while you're doing the little things, like utensils and bowls and cups and whatnot, you can fill those with soap and water while you're doing the rest of the dishes, or you can boil some water in the pot in question with a little bit of salt in it. I like to very thoroughly pre-rinse my dishes before they go in the dishwasher. I didn't have a dishwasher for years, and I do have a very good dishwasher now, but that came with the house. But I definitely make sure that I get all the food residue off of my dishes. That way I use my dishwasher more like a sanitizer. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Maybe you're gonna have people helping you cook. Most likely you're gonna have relatives that are gonna ask you to cook, help you cook or get things ready if you are having a get together. And we're going to want a lot of countertop space for all the food if you're preparing a big dinner. So maybe you have some decorations on the countertop that are meant to be there, but we want to create extra space. So we're going to put some things away that normally do have a home on the countertop. Maybe some appliances that you do use but you don't necessarily need for your big dinner. You could put those up and away and out of sight, out of mind. That way we have more countertop space for your guests and for all the food and whatnot. So as you're doing the dishes, just be looking around your kitchen and think, is there stuff that I can put away to make more room? Is there things that are in my kitchen that don't need to be in my kitchen? And I say this in almost every episode because it's really something that I always go back to, is just look from the perspective of a guest and think, what is not supposed to be in this kitchen? Because we get so used to seeing things sitting in our hot spots, that we set there every day, and then we get so used to looking at it. If you set your miscellaneous junk on a certain part of the countertop, and it'll just accumulate more and more and more things, we get used to seeing it. So just try to look in the perspective of somebody else entering your home and think about what you need to clear off the countertops. If you need more time for your dishes, go ahead and keep doing the dishes. We want to get those dishes done. But if you're ready to move on, I'm going to start talking about other things. So just do whatever you need to do. We've all had those days where we have a lot of dishes that we need to catch up on. But this is more of a holiday themed episode, so I'm going to talk about other kinds of organization. Let's get into it. So next step in cleaning the kitchen, I always throw away all the trash. If there's any trash in the kitchen, I will throw that away. If there's any miscellaneous junk that needs to go in other rooms of the house, you can put that away now. And just do a very quick straightening and clearing of the countertops or island, whatever area of space you have in your kitchen dining room, and make as much room as possible so we can do a very thorough wipe down of the countertop space. And today when we wipe down, we're going to get everything. We're going to get the microwave. We're going to make sure we thoroughly clean the microwave because guests could be in the microwave. They could be heating up leftovers. They could be arriving late and have to use the microwave. So let's thoroughly clean that out. Let's make sure we get any splatter on the cabinets, on the walls. Every so often, it's very good to clean the back of your stove, especially if you're somebody that cooks quite often. You can get a lot of grease splatter on that backsplash of your stove, and that does stain your wall, so you want to clean that pretty regularly. I make it a rule to wipe it down after I cook any kind of meal. That way, if there's any grease or anything, it's not going to stain the wall. If you have Clorox wipes or a rag, wet rag, you can take a butter knife and wrap it around the butter knife and get in between that crack in between your stove and the countertop and clean out those cracks. Sometimes food falls in those cracks and you can get it that way. I call it going wipe down crazy, but I just wipe down any and all surfaces. I try to get every little bit of surface area. I don't do this every time I clean the kitchen, but I like to do it every couple days. That way I'm getting stuff before it builds up. And now remember, I have small children. I have a now 3 and 5-year-old. They just had birthdays. So I'm getting little fingers on my cabinets and on the bottom of my fridge and my dishwasher, and I've got little fingerprints everywhere. So I have to do this quite often. If you're in a different phase of life, you may not have to wipe down every surface area of your kitchen quite as often as I do, especially if you have an adult household. So don't be listening and be like, whoa, I don't have to wipe down my cabinets every few days. Well, that's completely fine, and it's not everybody has to. And as I'm recording this right now, you probably have guessed by the slight echo, I am hiding in my bathroom from my children. And I'm looking at my bathroom cabinets, and I have not wiped them down in a minute. And they're not super messy, but there's like some water splatter stains, and they could definitely use a good wipe down. As I'm sure my kitchen cabinets are the same. And I have really dark kitchen cabinets, so kind of everything shows. Also, as I mentioned before, something my husband taught me is before I go on a grocery trip, I always clean out my refrigerator and my cabinets of anything that is out of date, getting old, or maybe needs to get thrown away, of any leftovers that need to be washed out and put in the dishwasher. I take out the drawers of my refrigerator and wash those out before a major grocery shopping trip. I make sure I wipe down my refrigerator, making sure to get underneath things, take out the condiments, make sure you're washing. If you have to take out a drawer and hose it down, you could do that. Or if you need to let it soak while you're at the grocery store, you could do that as well. But for me, it's a good little reminder to clean my refrigerator whenever I need to get groceries. It's just something that I started doing so that I remember to regularly really deep clean my refrigerator. So that is a really good idea that he gave me, and we've been living by it ever since. All that being said, if you need to wash out your refrigerator right now and you have the time, go ahead and do that. Your freezer as well. If you don't have the time, make sure you jot it down to do later on your to-do list and do it at the earliest convenience, and just do a quick wipe down of the outside of your refrigerator, making sure you disinfect the handles. If you have a smaller house like I do and you're tackling your dining room as well, make sure you're getting the legs of the tables, the chairs. If you have small children, definitely probably need to wipe down the chairs pretty regularly. High chairs. I know when I used to have a high chair, there'd be a lot of buildup on it sometimes, even though I was wiping it down after every use. You don't get every single nook and cranny, so it's good to do a deep clean of your high chair every once in a while. So finishing up with the kitchen area, make sure you take out the trash and reline the trash can. And if you're noticing your trash can is dirty, you might need to hose that down. If it's small enough to clean in the sink, then you can do that. If it's just slightly dirty, you can wipe it down with some Clorox wipes. And if it's really bad, you're going to have to take it outside and hose it down. But definitely make sure you're keeping up with the trash can. And right where you keep your trash can, maybe there is a part of your cabinets or a wall that needs to be wiped down because people are throwing stuff in the trash can and it's splattering. So make sure you're looking out for that as well. Okay, and since we did a thorough wipe down of everything, if you brushed any crumbs onto the floor and you needed to do just a spot sweeping to make sure that we're not tracking anything, you could do that now as well. And we will do the bulk of our entire floor area at the end of the episode, because some of you need to vacuum, and I know you can't do that while you're listening to the podcast. So I will remind you to do your floors at the end of the episode, but if you do need to spot sweep, or if you have a small house and you have time to do a thorough sweep, you could do that right now. And as always, all of our houses are different floor plans, different levels of dirty. Some of us are behind, some of us are right on track and we are regularly cleaning. Some of us are going through very rough patches and we have a disaster that it seems completely overwhelming and we're just trying to tackle the dishes today. Whatever area you're in, whatever thing you're struggling with, just as long as you try your hardest to get something done today and I've helped you accomplish something and made your house a little bit cleaner, that's all that we're striving for, is the best in your life. People that have never been through a depression where it's hard to keep up with cleaning don't understand, and they'll just think you're lazy. But as someone that has gone through that before, I can 100% tell you that I understand, and it's a really, really tough thing to just start the cleaning process sometimes. That's the hard part. That was always the hard part for me when I'm going through something like that, is just starting. And once I get into it, it gets a little bit easier for me. So you guys did the first part and you started the cleaning process and you have this podcast on, and we're already 23 minutes in to cleaning. So whatever you've accomplished so far, you're doing great. And let's go ahead and move on to the living area. If you need to pause me or rewind me, feel free to do that. So moving on to the living area, I mentioned before that I get motivated by decorating, and I do not have a lot of decorating funds. So something really cheap that not all of you can probably relate to this, but if you do, Dollar Tree has really good, just fun, cheap decorative signs and stuff. So I went, at the beginning of the season, I went Dollar Tree crazy and I got a bunch of Christmas decorations. And I was a little behind at the house on my house cleaning when I had gotten the decorations, because I was just super busy at the time. So I bought the decorations and I told myself that I would completely clean the house just the whole house before I put up the decorations. And I just make little deals with myself like that sometimes to help get me to accomplish things that I've been procrastinating on. So that was a little push I needed. I got home and I cleaned the whole house top to bottom, and then I was able to put up my little Dollar Tree decorations. And the kids got so excited when I did it. It was the sweetest thing. My 3-year-old was like, "Thank you, Mommy. Thank you for my decorations." She said, "Is this a birthday party?" But anyway, let's get to our straightening of the living area. So I like to do the focal points of the room first. So I like to straighten my couch and fix my pillows because I love my throw pillows on my couch. It's something that I enjoy doing, is fluffing my pillows and organizing my little decorative throw pillows. So I have a leather couch, so I'll do a wipe down of my couch. If you have cushions that you can take off, maybe you need to do a quick vacuum with your hand vac underneath your cushions or in between your cushions. The couch I have now doesn't have removable cushions, but the last couch I did, I had to take all my cushions off and vacuum them. And since I had a couch before that was cloth, so I would vacuum the actual cushions themselves too. If you have leather, you could just wipe them down. And then after that, you rearrange all your pillows nice and cute and we're going to look down. Since it's an hour-long episode, we're going to do it. We're going to look underneath the couch. I know, guys. I don't want to do it either. So, as I mentioned before, there are these things on Amazon that are these little plastic shields that you can put underneath your couch, so no toys or miscellaneous junk will go underneath your couch. And I do have a couch that's very low to the ground. Some couches, especially if you get them at like an IKEA type of a place, they can you can take the legs off so that it's flush with the floor if you have small children like I do. I know not all of you can relate to this part, but if you have little kids and things are constantly getting underneath your couch, or pets that are putting pet toys underneath your couch, they have those shields. You can always take the legs off of some of the couches depending on your couch, or you can just take a broom. What I used to do when I had this issue, I would take a broom sometimes and I would just do like a sweeping motion and kind of use the broom as a tool to get everything out from underneath the couch, because I wasn't strong enough to move the couch myself and I didn't want to hurt myself. So I would just sweep everything out from under it. And it seems like a big deal if there's a lot of junk underneath your couch, but it really doesn't take that long to just, because most of it's just trash or toys. So you just take whatever little wrappers and dust or kids' toys and just quickly put them away as fast as you can. Sweep up the mess or vacuum up the mess and you're good to go. Next, if you haven't cleaned your windows in a while, you might need to do a quick Windex spray and wipe down of your windows or your window seal. Blinds as well. If I like to wet dust, so I like to use either a wet rag or a Clorox wipe or something to get my blinds if they're super dusty. That's something you might want to tackle if you're having guests soon. Never spray something directly onto your TV, but if you need to wipe down your TV, dust that off. I often neglect the back of my TV. It gets pretty dusty sometimes, so you might need to wet dust that. If there's surfaces that are messy and have stuff, if you have any hot spots in your living area, I used to have a table that opened and had storage in it, so I made sure that that was organized. Because if you're having kids over to your house, they'll open all of your little stuff. I know one time we went over to like my husband's aunt's, for example. She usually has the get-togethers at her house. And she had these little tables that opened, and she's very organized, and she doesn't have small kids in her house. She has teenagers. So, of course, everything looked nice and clean inside, but my kids did try to open them several times. So, just something to think about. If you're not used to having small kids, they will probably get into stuff that you don't want them to and point out things that you don't want them to. So if you have like little drawers or storage in your living area, maybe make sure those are clean and tidy, because if you're having little kids over, they will open it. Anything that doesn't belong in the living area, go ahead and put it away at this time. With my living area, a lot of it is just toys and stuff with me in my house, so I just do a speed clean and just pick up everything that I can and wipe down all the surface areas once I've picked everything up. I make sure my rugs are nice. I have small rugs in my living area, so I like to throw them in the wash every once in a blue moon. Again, this depends on your house size and your phase of life, how often you have to clean rugs. My Aunt Lisa has small children, and she has a Ruggable, which is this thing that has like a base, and then the actual decorative part of the rug you can take off and wash it, I believe. So that's good if you have kids. I think they're kind of expensive though. If you need to wipe down walls or anything, magic erasers are great for that. Or you could just do an old-fashioned soap on a wet rag and just wipe down any scuff marks on the walls or the doors. We don't want Santa coming in and seeing a messy house this year, so let's just try to tidy it up as best as we can. If you were wiping stuff down and anything got on the floor and you want to just do a quick little spot vacuum or a spot sweep, you could do that before moving on. Make sure your entryway looks nice. If you live in like a dusty area, I live in Texas on a ranch, so lots of dust around my house. So it's very, very needed for me to have a welcome mat on the outside of my front door and the inside, because otherwise I get so much dirt on my floors. And I have tile on my floors, and it's camouflages the dirt, but of course, who wants nasty built up dirt on their floors? So the welcome mats are very much needed in my house. So that's a little tip for all of you folks that live where there's a lot of dust and dirt or in rural areas. If you need to rewind the living area portion, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. And before we move on to the bedrooms, if you have any pet chores that you need to do, that's definitely something that could heavily impact a visit with a guest if they're coming to your house and they smell like dirty cat litter, for example, or dirty hamster bedding or something. Smells definitely can affect a visit of a loved one. So we don't want any strange smells. So if you have to do any pet chores like cleaning litter boxes or cleaning out bedding for hamsters or guinea pigs or something like that, go ahead and do that at this time as well. And then moving on to the bedroom area, first things first, if you haven't cleaned your bedding in a while, or you're doing guest rooms, maybe you're just focusing on guest rooms this time. If you have a guest staying in a guest room, or maybe a guest is staying in your bedroom, definitely strip the sheets. Make sure you're putting on nice clean bedding for them. So strip all your bedding off and put that in a place where it's next priority to be washed. And it's always a nice touch to give your mattress a nice little vacuum before someone stays at your house, because as gross as it is, mattresses do get like dead skin cells on them accumulated over time. It's super gross, but it's good to vacuum your mattress every once in a while. And what better a time than if you're going to have company. Make sure you're cleaning all the pillowcases as well. If you need to throw a pillow in the washer, you could do that as well. I feel like that's something that gets neglected sometimes. Don't be afraid to throw away an old pillow. I know sometimes we hoard stuff like that. There's been times where I've been like, why do we have all these deflated, I say deflated, you know what I mean, like completely not fluffy anymore, just old gross pillows, and then I buy new ones, and then I don't want to get rid of the old ones, so I have like 50 gross pillows and a couple new ones. when I need to just throw them away because nobody ever uses them because they're just so worn out and gross looking. And so either buy new pillows and throw away the old ones. Always, if you get something new, it's good to throw away the old thing or try to throw them in the wash if they're going to survive the wash. With my little throw pillows and decorative pillows, I do often throw those in the wash, or they have covers a lot of times, so I'll throw the covers in the wash. And if you need to clean a ceiling fan, you could do that. If you haven't done that in a while, you might need to wet dust a ceiling fan. And if you're doing the ceiling fan, make sure you vacuum your mattress after, of course, because you probably got dust on the mattress. Make sure that we clean under the bed. It always seems a lot more bigger of a job than it actually is, so just get everything out from under the bed that doesn't belong and clean and organize that, and just get every dresser drawer that needs to be organized, because if someone's staying in a bedroom, they're probably going to open a lot of things, especially if there's little kids involved. Stuff that they're gonna see first, and then move on to the dressers and the closet. If you're having small children stay in a guest room and you're not used to having small children in the house, maybe make sure that there's no safety hazards that they can get into. That would be a nice touch for your guests, so that they don't have to baby-proof the room when they get there. If it's pre-baby proofed by you, that would be a really nice touch. Or same thing if you're having like elderly people visit or stay in a bedroom, make sure that everything's easily accessible for them, and that there's no safety hazards that they can trip on in the night or hurt themselves on. And just like the living area, just look at it from the perspective of a guest and get anything off of the dressers that don't belong, that aren't actual decorations, and put them up or get rid of them. If you're finding it harder and harder to keep your bedrooms clean and just keep a certain area of your house clean, like if it's getting really hard for you to keep your clothes organized or the toys organized, it's probably time to get rid of some stuff. That's always the case with me. If I'm constantly picking up toys, I usually need to get rid of some toys. And Christmas, we're going to have a lot of toys coming into the house if you have kids. So definitely with getting a bunch of new stuff, we want to push out the old stuff. And I know I say this all the time, but it's something that we don't always do, and it's something I really struggle with, and I just accumulate things, and it makes it really hard to keep your house clean if you just have this big accumulation of just junk. So I'm definitely going to get rid of a lot of toys that don't get used anymore, because I know that they're going to get a lot of presents and a lot of new toys. And we don't need a legless baby doll that's been at the bottom of the toy box for a week, not even looked at, or a month. Same thing with clothes. If you're finding it really hard to organize my clothes and organize clothes, I say my clothes because I'm literally guilty of this right now. And the reason why I have so much laundry is just I have so many clothes right now because people give me stuff, and I haven't been getting rid of stuff when people give me stuff. So I just keep accumulating more and more and more. And I'm a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to clothes, and that's something I struggle with. So I definitely need to take some time aside to get rid of some clothes, because I'm finding it hard to organize my clothes because I don't have room to put it anywhere. So I'll organize it, and then it'll go back to the way it was right after, because I just have so much stuff I don't know where to put it. So I like to think, like, is this just out of season and that's why I'm not wearing it? Or do I not wear it because I don't wear it anymore and I don't like it? Because if I have not worn it in like 4 months and it's not because it's out of season, it needs to go. And same thing applies to shoes, makeup, anything else that you're struggling with. If you're getting a bunch of new stuff, we want to get rid of old stuff. So if you get a bunch of a certain item, socks, whatever the case may be, for Christmas. Make sure we're getting rid of old stuff after we get home from our Christmas get-togethers. So that should be a new thing, and I'm definitely going to do an episode on that after Christmas. It's going to be called the After Christmas Purge, and we're going to do an episode of just purging all of the stuff that we don't use anymore and stuff that we got new versions of for Christmas that we need to just get rid of. So after holiday purge is what we're going to call it. But we're going to go ahead, and if you need to rewind that part and do multiple bedrooms, you could do that. But I'm going to move on to the bathroom, especially the guest bathroom. So if we're having guests or visitors or overnight visitors, definitely want to make sure that the guest bathroom, the bathroom that's going to be most accessible to the guests that they're going to be using, is perfectly clean, and that is a big thing for the comfort of your guests. Nobody likes going to somebody else's house and having to use the restroom, and the restroom is really dirty because it's not your bathroom. Nobody likes using a dirty bathroom. And, it really just set the tone for the whole visit if they went to your restroom and it's really dirty and gross. It'll make them uncomfortable. So we want to make sure that our guests are comfortable. First things first, we're going to make sure everything's picked up and put away, and you don't have a lot of toiletries sitting out. We want to make sure that everything's in its place and put up. If you don't have a place to organize all of your miscellaneous stuff that's sitting out on your countertop, there's plenty of cheap baskets and organizers and stuff you could get from even Dollar Tree to put your toiletries in. If you find you don't have a place for your toiletries and they're taking up space on your countertops, definitely you need to look into getting some organizers, because I don't have a lot of shelving and drawers in my bathroom. I have a very small bathroom, so I have a lot of baskets and stuff to put my stepdaughter's stuff in. That way when they come visit, they have a special home for their specific things. And then I have a little basket that I keep all of my little girl's hair things, little tiny rubber bands and stuff that only they use. So stuff that we may typically use day to day that's maybe sitting out on the countertop, straighteners and whatnot, those can be put away. And if it's something that the guest is going to use, like a blow dryer or something, make sure that they're in a place that's easily accessible and easy to find. So you could just say, everything you need is going to be in such and such drawer ready for you. Make sure that there's a clean hand towel for them. Make sure we're wiping down everything. The toilet is going to be the biggest thing. We want the toilet to be nice and clean. So get your Clorox wipes. Get all the surface areas that you touch first. I like to use Clorox wipes on the toilet. That way we can throw away the stuff that touches the yucky parts. Or if you do use rags, make sure you have designated bathroom rags. That way we're not using toilet rags in the kitchen. But I definitely like using disposable rags or Clorox wipes and just thoroughly scrub the toilet down. If you prefer to wear gloves during this part, do that if that helps you get a deeper clean. Make sure you're not neglecting the sides of the toilet, the back of the toilet, the little dips in the side of the toilet that accumulate dust and stuff. Make sure those are thoroughly wiped down. Get your toilet bowl cleaning bleach and just get the rim of the inside of the toilet and let that sit. If you have a pumice stone, that's really good for scrubbing off those water marks or marks inside of your toilet. So after you let the bleach sit, you can get that pumice stone. They have them with little sticks on it, so it's easy to get in there and clean the toilet really thoroughly. And same thing for the shower. We want the shower to be nice and clean if they're going to be overnight guests or not. We just want it to appear clean or just be clean for us. So same thing. And I've mentioned this before, but I like to keep up with my shower regular maintenance by I keep a little soap dispensing sponge in the shower, and with the detachable sponge heads, the replaceable ones. And I like to keep a bathroom scrubbing bubbles type bathroom cleaner inside of the handle. And every time I take a shower, I just try to do a once over and scrub down the bathroom walls and inside the shower and the bathtub. And that way I'm just doing regular maintenance cleaning of the shower while I'm already in there at the end of my shower. And then on times like this, when we're getting ready for guests, I'll do a deep clean and I'll get some Ajax and I'll dampen the walls of the shower or the bath and just sprinkle the Ajax bleach, let it sit. If you have really bad stains in your bathtub, it's more expensive, but the bleach that you use to clean toilets, if you use a ton of that on your bathtub, it'll get it really clean and really white. But that bleach is more expensive. Ajax usually does the trick too, and it's a whole lot cheaper. And then get some sponges or rags and just really scrub every area of the bathroom. Vinegar is good for getting hard water stains off or buildup off of your shower heads and stuff. If you get like a bag, fill it with vinegar and secure it with a hair tie over the shower head, that'll get any of the hard water off of it. So I appreciate you guys listening. Since we're nearing the end of the episode, I want you guys to remember to do your whole floor rescue of the whole house. I want you guys to do a thorough vacuuming or sweeping depending on what floors you have, and mopping the entire house. Make sure to do a really thorough mopping of the bathroom and kitchen areas. And then when you're all finished, you can kick back, put your feet up, get that laundry that we have finished, do a laundry switch. If you have time, start up a new load and fold and put away that laundry while you're relaxing. And that way you could take a little break and also still be accomplishing stuff. And I thank you again so much for listening. Happy holidays, you guys. I will put the link to my Patreon in the bio if you do want to financially support the podcast. And as always, happy cleaning.